Chapter 12. I see Adam, fire in his eyes, determined. There he is again, blood slowly oozing from his wounds. It was only days after our picture taking that Adam hinted to me that the resistance was on the move. We're planning something very big, he told me one morning. Men have escaped to the Allies and told them of the gas chambers, and still they do nothing. Your photos may arrive too late and save this last batch of Jews, although you'll be glad to know that the fellow who escaped with them still hasn't been captured. The next morning, SS men on motorcycles roared up to the factories we were working in. Everyone was ordered back to the barracks because crematorium IV was burning. Crematorium 4 was burning. It had been blown up, sabotaged. We marched back, heads held high. Later that day, we heard that most of the rebels had been killed, but not before killing a few SS guards first. That day, they gave us our rations when we got back to the barracks. Unheard of, really. After all, if someone should die before night, then those rations he'd eaten would be wasted. That was why rations were given only after a full day's work. They must have been very upset to forget that rule. Ate my quarter loaf of bread slowly throughout the day, not all at once as I usually did, and Father had some time for extra bartering. Father and I had quickly learned that if you simply ate your rations, worked, and followed orders, your lifespan would be a few months at most. You would grow so thin and wasted that you would be chosen for the gas chamber in the regular selections of the Nazis made. Father made sure that he kept up a brisk trade in the spoons and knives he made at the factory. New arrivals would trade him a slice of bread or something else he felt we needed. Sometimes he managed to get us potatoes, sometimes a bit of sausage, even some cheese. We were given 2 ounces of sausage 3 times a week and 2 ounces of cheese on Sunday, and people would trade it if need be. Knives for cutting bread were very much in demand, as were spoons for the soup, though only on Sunday did the soup have anything of substance in it. On other days it was brewed from weeds and thistles. Father kept us from becoming so weak and emaciated that we couldn't continue. The following day we were sent back to work as usual, the uprising easily contained by the SS. Our group was ordered to carry boxes of supplies from the yard to the factory. When we were out in the yard, Adam whispered to me, "All the others have been captured. They'll give me away under torture. I don't want to be caught and tortured. I won't give them the satisfaction. I'll have my revenge." I whispered back, "Adam, your revenge will be seeing them defeated. It can't be long now. They may not discover you. Don't do it." "I've made up my mind," he answered. "Good luck to you, Daniel. Remember me, and now stay away from me." I could see that he would not change his mind, so I quickly moved away towards some crates. An SS man stood directing the unloading, his back to Adam. Adam moved up on him quickly, quietly, and pulled the guard's pistol from its holster before the guard could stop him. He shot the SS man at point-blank range, then turned around and fired at 2 more guards who were close by. He wounded one, the other killed Adam with a hail of machine gun fire. I crouched behind the crates, only too aware of the wild hatred this would instill in the SS guards. They would cheerfully massacre all of us in revenge, but no, for the moment they seemed occupied in getting medical help for the wounded guard who was still alive. In the meantime, the rest of our group slipped back into the factory and to do our jobs. I couldn't stop my hands from trembling as I worked. I knew that as punishment, they might well take Adam's work squad, line us up and shoot us all, or hang us publicly to make an example of us. There were often bodies hanging from the gallows as we marched to work. Still, I wasn't angry at Adam. I admired him. He had chosen his way to die. I took a deep breath. If the rest of us had to die for that act, then so be it. I stopped trembling, and I vowed that if they came for us, I would be shot fighting too. But no one came, and our day continued as usual. That night, as we marched back to our barracks, I resolved to see Erica. Passing her twice a day and not being allowed to talk was unbearable. The next day, I again made a note out of a cloth and grease. It said "fence," and I lobbed it at her as we went by at the end of the day. This time I saw her bend over and pick it up, pretending she had dropped her violin bow. After we had been given our rations, Father and I headed for the electrified barbed wire fence that separated the men's camp from the women's. We had walked past 10 barracks, but finally we reached the fence, and there she was. We dared not get too close for fear of getting in trouble with the guards, but we called to each other. "I love you," Father called. "I love you too," she cried back. "Mother?" Father asked. She shook her head. "I won't make the next selection," she called, "but you two must. Also, we might be moved. There's a rumor."